The Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns figure is really, really good. But what if I could make it better? I started out by making a list of the things I want to add to this figure. Number 1 was to give him a fuller beard. Number 2 was to fix the loose head. Number 3 was to repaint the beard, and number 4 was to give him a fade. First off, I wanted to give a fuller beard to his alternate head sculpt. I will be using DAS modeling clay, and I'm going to scratch in some little marks there so that it's more adhesive to the figure. Then from there, you're just going to want to use your fingers to sculpt it into the shape you like. Then I used a sculpting knife to really get those fine details in. Here's a closer look at what I did earlier on by just sculpting it into a better position. Next, I'm going to scratch some lines in to give some more depth. Dude looks like Santa Claus. I did start sculpting his beard, but unfortunately the video did not focus, so you won't see much of that. I didn't make much progress with the sculpting knife, and so I decided to use a different Roman Reigns headpiece to get the exact texture that I wanted. So I just kind of pressed the other head into the beard to make the texture that I wanted. I tried to sculpt on the details to the mustache, but it would just keep falling off whenever I did, so I kind of just left it pretty plain. Next up, I'm going to give the first Roman Reigns head a fade by painting his hair to look closer to his skin tone. The most important thing about painting a figure is to have light coats of paint. After a few coats of paint, here's what Roman Reigns looks like. Next was to paint the promo head's beard, but my camera wasn't even focused. Here's what they looked like when I thought they were finished, but I was totally wrong. I wasn't really happy with these, and had quite a ways more to go. I used my sculpting knife to chop off his mustache. What would help it most is probably a fade, and so I wanted to start on that. This was my best application ever, and I was incredibly surprised with how well that worked. I mixed up the white, black, and brown paint to make the side of his head. Then I also mixed up just some white and black for his beard. I painted gray and then put black over it multiple times. You definitely don't need to do this. This made it more difficult than it needed to be. I wanted to make his hair a little more gray, and so I used a dry brushing method. If you don't know what dry brushing is, it's basically just grabbing some paint and then scraping it off on your canvas or a palette. It gives you more control over how much paint you put on the figure.
Next, I got some of my white, black, and brown mix and put it on Roman's fade. And then I dry brushed the back of his hair with gray. That mix of brown, white, and black was really what put the figure over the edge for me. It looks a lot better now and gives it a more lighter tone on the side of his head. Here's the finished product, Roman Reigns with the fade and the fuller beard on the alternate head sculpt. I think it turned out pretty sweet. You guys can tell me below, what do you think of it? As always, I'm Show Off Productions. Have a lovely day.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.